So I'll be back tomorrow, man, with some hot news. Gotta finish up this character by Monday, man. Yo, come Undercity is terrible. We're giving it back to the Alliance soon. Someone posted a picture of a text. I guess his girlfriend was playing WoW, and he said when she rolls an undead while you're at work, and she said I can't figure out Undercity. He said, oh, I'm so sorry. He said the Undercity is terrible. We're giving it back to the Alliance soon. I can't wait, man. Yo, this next expansion should be so good. Hey, it's funny is you're thinking back. A lot of people were complaining for the longest time how WoW has gotten easier and easier and dumbed down over the years. With this most recent patch 7.35 to change the leveling and the changes that they plan to do for Battle for Azeroth, it seems like they're going not back to the original WoW, but they're adding a lot more complexity to the game. And Legion seemed like that a little bit too, with being like focusing on one character and the artifact power. But it seems like they're adding a lot more complexity back to the game with the Mythic Plus dungeons, with bringing the class specializations and what one class offers or one spec offers over another spec. Also with the change to leveling, so everything is not you just get in and face roll it and then you're strong again. Like it seems like they're adding complexity and some hardcoreness back to the game, and now people are complaining about that. And I get it's a different set of people, but people are complaining that there's hardcoreness being added to World of Warcraft. And Blizzard seems to be one of the only companies that always goes, either they take what other people are doing and do it better, or they go against the grain completely. And it seems like that's the steps that they're taking. And I wanted to ask you too, man, earlier about Overwatch and like where it currently stands, because I haven't read anything on Overwatch at all. And I was thinking there'd be a new teaser out for an upcoming character or something, or some talks about. I knew about the Blizzard World map, but I didn't know about the costumes. Um, so yeah, that's good. And you know, it's funny is I watched a video. It was specifically, I don't remember who did the interview. It said we asked all the pros if they could remove one character from the game, who would it be?
Right.
Everyone said Mercy.
Yeah.
Everybody said
Mercy.
And that everyone said because I mean her res.
Right.
They said it has no place in a team-based shooter.
Yeah. Well, see, I think so. Like, it's rough because I like the ability to res because it's different, and I think that's what the developers wanted too.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Nobody else. But what I think the general public has is so it's the first person shooter people, the CSGO people, the people that really take this aiming stuff and everything like that like super serious, and then it's the casual player, the casual person that is like, well, you know, I don't have the time to work on my reactions and do everything that you guys did to get your aim on point, so this helps me. So then it's like, okay, well, what's the middle ground? The middle ground, I guess the general consensus seems to either be don't put the res in, or, you know, nerf her to an extent where
The res is the only viable.
Right. That like that's where it's getting.
I think we talked about this. I think the only way to do it is it can't be a reactive thing. It's got to be kind of a proactive, or that's like that zillion type res where again this person's about to die and then you throw it on them. So the enemy team can do what they need to either control that individual, ignore them, or now blow up the mercy.
Right.
But being able to undo what people do, and what some of the pros are saying is when you make a big play, or if I snipe a player like with an impossible shot, that's amazing. But then that gets undone by the mercy res, right there.
Right.
And that ruins the momentum of the game. That ruins the feel for the crowd. Like that's gone, and that needs to go. And I agree. Like a reactive res, like someone's dead, let me pick them back up, is awful for a game like that that has that pacing.
Right.
It's got to be something like Zillion, because I think if you nerf her to the fact where the only thing she brings is the res, you're playing a man down.
Right.
You're absolutely playing a man down. There's no way to balance that where that character is viable.
Right.
Because even if she went back to her old form, that would be the most toxic thing for the game.
Right.
Basically, you take away all her abilities, and she just stands there and then waits for her team to wipe and res.
Right.
There's going to be 2 mercies every game.
Right.
That's awful.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
That's awful.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, if they don't do like a Zillion type thing, the other thing that I would like to see is her ultimate. She channels on basically it's a channel, kind of like how her beam is, where she can channel on an ally for however many seconds, and as long as that channel is active, the ally can't die. So it's not a res, but it's focusing one person to be able to essentially make a play. So that does 2 things. You know Mercy's vulnerable. She's keeping this person from dying.
Right.
That's essentially being what's that ability called? Is it just called revive? Like I was thinking like angel, whatever the hell.
Guardian Angel?
Guardian Angel, there we go.
Guardian Angel is a jump.
That's a leap? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not a revive, but it's also a much more active ability in focusing on someone that you know is about to die, but you can prevent them from dying with the ultimate. That's also somewhat of a boring ability because I don't think for Mercy that's that fun. And for the player and the enemy team, it's just focus the Mercy and then you can focus this person too. Like that's 2 people that's gonna die very quickly.
Right.
So either they do something close to a Zillion res, to where you don't steal the momentum away, or they just remove the res altogether and give her something else.
Yeah.
Well, what would you give her?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I think that's what we're gonna. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're gonna have to lean towards doing. Given how like you said, like a Zillion res, like because even other Overwatch players, some top players are saying the same thing, that they want either a lot of the general consensus I've been hearing from top Overwatch people or people that stream or people that like put stuff on YouTube is either change it so that it's like a Zillion type of res, like they fine tune it in, but the general like gist is a Zillion res, like everybody haggles over time or how it works or whatever, but it's generally is a Zillion res, and or bring her back to what Mercy was in the beginning, where she was the person that stays in the back and hope because and gets the instant res when she gets her ult, because they said she's not as strong in the whole game, and her res. How many times was she gonna get like a group res? Like most of the time, the probably tops average Mercy would get probably 2 people, maybe 2 res. Then plus you gotta remember you gotta have them in that area. They have to be in a certain area. And now you gotta choose one. So it's gonna be either or. And I'd rather the Zillion res because. Playing Mercy back then, that shit was rough, dude. When she had no mobility, dude, you had to hope that you could hide somewhere so that you could heal somebody. Hopefully, your team is spread out enough that you could jump to people. And even if you did jump, the shit was so slow that dudes would pick you off as soon as you running. Even to some extent, they could do it now. At least it's just a little bit faster. Like what Valkyrie does is like it's that ulti that really can change the game for a team. That does it. It's just the problem is that it's a little bit too overpowered right now. So I think with the if they was like what they doing now, all they had to do is just decrease the time on it. I feel like there's no ult like her ult when it comes to time. Like you got Zenyatta ult, what is it, like 7 seconds? You got Soldier ult, what is it, like 7 seconds? 50. Hers is 20 seconds. You bring that down to 15, we good. Maybe even if you want to go a little bit harsher, maybe 10. But dude, leave the 2 reses and and everything else. Like, how is that a game changing res if you nerf everything about the res and you nerf the time? Like now, what's the point? Like you ain't gotta go that hard just because you don't want res to be taken out. Like that shit is so dumb. You're gonna nerf everything about her games just so that it's like they're being real like stingy. Like they're being not stingy. They're being real stubborn with it.
It's rough because they don't want to spend more time changing her kit that they could be to balance other characters or balance the game or adding a new character into the game.
Right.
So she's already been changed once. They'll have to go back and change her again. Like,
yeah. I mean, most of these patches have been spent on Mercy.
Right.
Like they gotta be tiring, dude. Like, damn, we doing another Mercy patch?
It's like,
man.
Because adding new characters, what they did was they disturbed the meta. Now you can't even keep that cadence up because you have to spend the time making sure that she's in a position that if a character is added, she can be disrupted.
Right.
They would have to spend like the next 2 or 3 characters making sure that they just hard counter Mercy.
Right.
And then for that, don't bring a Mercy. You're gonna be hard countered.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Don't bring a Mercy. Now she's a liability. The thing is, she adds something very, very unique to a shooter. I like her res. I do. Don't like how it's currently implemented.
Right.
I think that's awful. It's just awful, man. Like, even when I'm talking about from pro moments, like those feelings where we would make a great push, wipe the team, couldn't get the Mercy, and she rezzed everybody. Granted, they were few and far between. Like she didn't get team rezzes every time, but when they happened, there's nothing more deflating than that. You just spent everything, and now it's the whole team.
The whole team. Or at least like maybe a good 4 of them or something like that. Oh man. But then at the same time, for the Mercy, that's good. Damn, dude, I held my ult out. I held my ult for the right time. It paid off. Like, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't mind playing Mercy 1.5 or whatever that was.
I would 100%. I'd rather her in this one.
I would.
Team res is absolute nonsense. It doesn't matter if she most times gets 2 people
or
3 people.
Yeah.
Reactive killing someone that just got sniped from half the map away is already enough nonsense. To be able to do it to multiple people, that hurts, man. And as fast as she got that list, extra hurt.
Right.
And that gameplay before, man, like you did good, you hit out, and you res the team. But see, the thing is, the enemy team now has to play 2 games. Not only do they have to push the objective, push the Mercy. They gotta keep tabs on the Mercy. That's it's. If they did that, the only way I would be mildly okay with that is if they kept the form where she has to cast it.
Oh,
They'd have to slightly, not much more, but slightly increase the cast time.
mm,
Slightly increase the cast time, let her cast res the whole team. Now you have to be much more mindful because you could be blinked right out.
right,
You could be bought, you could be interrupted, you could be roadhog hooked, you could be pinned,
right.
any of those things. The thing before is it had no counter. No counter. She was invulnerable.
Yeah.
She made the team invulnerable. There was nothing you could do. You couldn't stop it. You literally couldn't stop it.
And it was instant.
And it was instant. The only way you could stop it is if you saw her coming out of the corner. And
Right, you killed her. Yep. And even if you did kill her, she probably still got the res off.
Yep. And she did. Yes, I did.
I said yes, I did. Notice me, I did it. Yeah, play the game. Yeah, it's like 3-4 man res, and that's a big. Yeah, that was big, man.
I don't know what they would do, man. The only other thing that I could say, I don't know.
Zillion ult, man, Zillion ult.
Zillion ult, I think is absolutely amazing.
But I just think that Blizzard wants the ability to bring somebody back to life. Like that's just what they want, and I don't know no other way to like I don't know no other way to like make that happen. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think there's nothing wrong with the res per se. Just bring down her ult time. Yeah, just bring down her ult time a little bit. Yo, that's it, dude.
Because there's no way to balance. I don't think there's any aside from Zillion Ultimate. There's no way to balance her so it feels good for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if the ult takes too long to charge, she's liable.
Right.
If it comes up too quick, she's too powerful. Everybody has to have mercy. If you reses multiple people, everybody has to have mercy. If she can't get it off, don't bring a mercy. She's liability.
Right.
That. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what form a res is in. It's always too powerful. It's not always needed, but it's always too powerful.
Right, because it's that whole mindset like, well, they got a res and we don't, so we need to have a res because they got a res.
Right. If there was a way to counter res, not even keep her from doing it, and that's the other thing is if they kept the res, they don't have any characters that can counter this.
Right.
If Anna's grenade was able to counter somebody who got res from coming back with full health,
she'll be too
that in
powerful,
itself
dude.
would be amazing.
Yeah, she'll be strong, though. She'll be real strong. Well, I mean, that's kind of play around that, right? Because she can't grenade some, through shields.
No, she can't.
So then, you could be like, all right, well, maybe you just gotta protect the Mercy while she's resing, which they should be doing anyway. They should be shielding Mercy, and like Winston should be putting his bubble on top of the person that died so that Mercy could res them. Like that should be already.
If instead of, because I mean, I think it would be. I don't think there's any really way to balance. I was gonna say if they instead of made the grenade reduce the amount of healing you receive to nothing, like reduce the amount of healing output. But there's only so few healers. Like only so few people that can actually heal. So that might not be as good. But I don't know how are you going to apply that grenade effect to someone who's dead?
Right.
That's the issue.
Maybe it would probably be like a mortal strike, like if you killed them while they were under the effects.
Right. But then that she has to constantly be mindful and throwing her grenades at people.
Right, yeah. And then how is she using it to heal, which is a primary function?
Right.
Only thing I could think of is maybe putting it on the DPS. Like that should be giving them more of a role. Like.
But still, how would you do that? How would you do it?
I don't know. That'd be a good question. Without giving them a new move or giving all the DPS new moves, which would just be to counter Mercy. It's a little too much.
What if they had like a silence ability? Because that could be applied to every character, not just Mercy. If someone had the ability to silence and prevent you from using your moves, you could still shoot your gun, but you can't use your abilities for shit that you. I think if they had something like that, that would be amazing.
But isn't that Sombra?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's Sombra, and if people are not picking her, they would need to fix Sombra, or buff her up a little bit or something. Give her a little bit of something. Because Sombra, I think, is very good. It's just people.
On a character. If the hacking was a channel and she prevents you to use your move while she's channeling. Instead of she hacks you, and then once it finishes, you can't use the move. So like, it's a channel move that she uses, kind of like whatever it locks onto you. And while the lock is active, you can't use any abilities. That would allow her to lock down a single target.
Right. I think they. I mean, didn't they decrease? They decreased the time on hack already. Yeah. So, I was gonna say, because if they made it instant, that would be too overpowered.
Well, not instant, but like a beam or like the beam that comes out when she's hacking.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, instead of making an ability that she has to use, and then there's the silence effect,
Mm-hmm.
she could channel it on somebody, and while the channel is going, they can't cast the abilities. So essentially, think of like a mercy beam that she locks onto an enemy.
Right.
And while that beam is active, this person can't cast any abilities. So she could lock down a single target for much longer than whatever the 2 or 3 seconds is. I mean, the 2 or 3 seconds is still long enough, but she could catch a mercy that's flying in and knock him down. But again, that's still only one ability.
Right.
That's only one character with one ability.
Right. I mean, at least it'll give them more play. Because because that's the thing. I don't want it to be where you have to now pick this character to counter that character, because then, then people, because then it'll be like, all right, well, if this is the mercy meta, then you gotta have the Sombra on the team.
What if the res, instead of healing them the full, gave them less health, healed them to like a small percent of their health, or gave them like a Lucio, like a really fat, quickly depleting shield. So if they're not healed, like they're just gonna die very quickly again.
Right.
But I think going back to full health that's painful. But going back to no health is equally as painful.
Right.
But if you res somebody and they have their health either dwindling very quickly, or
it was just saying.
What if it was a temporary res?
Right. Well, you know what? Going off of that, what if it was res the way you say, like, the health goes down and they need to fulfill something to make it so that they stay on the they stay.
They gotta be top off.
Right. Something like that. That could be something.
So I mean, you as a player would have to be more mindful. Right, cool. I got so much time. If I'm not gonna get healed, I need to heal myself. If I don't have a heal, I need to find a pack. But I also, like, if I can't heal somebody, I need to be able to do something.
Right.
But I like the idea, like, if you're on offense, and if you can get to the payload, or if you can stay on the payload.
Right, the payload holds you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But even as a mercy player, like, if I have to res only to keep you on the payload for just a second on defense, even if I can't heal you, I can res some people to keep you on defense. I think that still feels good, because at the end of the day, if it's a stalemate where she reses her team, she can only heal one person and her team dies because they essentially bleed out, then that would be a stalemate, because even if they wipe the team that's pushing, the card's not moving.
Right.
It feels bad when she reses her team and they're able to basically completely counter what was just done to them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and not only that, demoralizing, I feel like it's easy mode. It's like the same thing like with Paladin Bubble, how everybody feels like that thing is just so good, man.
No, it's not, I mean, it's not good now. Before, when you bubble and wings, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bubble and wings now, right? But it's not enough damage.
No, can you bubble? Yeah. No, wait, we can? No, I think, No, you can't. Yeah, you can bubble in wings, but yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same amount of them.
I'll try right now.
We'll try.
But like, knowing now, one is a super long cooldown, and while you're bubbled, you only have a few options.
Right.
Like when you're bubbled, usually it's because you're about to die. Nobody's gonna bubble at full health unless they're so smart and know that they can time their burst and kill somebody and be invulnerable. Like, you're using bubble as a defensive ability, not an offensive.
Right.
But I still think that one more person should be able to work with that.
I don't know. Why did they take that away from Warriors?
See, they took it away and then they added it back as the glyph, and then they took glyphs away, and I don't know why they completely took it away. What was it called? Shattering. No, not that one.
Because I didn't think there was nothing wrong with him having it.
No. I mean, the only, because it was a castability too. You haven't cast it.
Right.
Yeah, have
So you could have, yeah. So you could have interrupted them if you knew it was coming. Priest was still, okay. Because theirs was instant.
Right. Priest is the only one that having a vulnerability move. Like that's in a world where there's what 11, 12 classes. That's not enough.
Right.
But I get it. Like at the same time, you don't want the vulnerabilities useless.
Right. But I mean, like even with paladins though, like if they got a priest on the team, oh, I'm about to bubble. Let me CC this priest real quick before I do it, or let me get out in LOS and bubble so that I could, like there's still ways around it, and that's what most of us were doing. So, I mean. We can't do that shit to the warlock bubble.
Bubble and win.
Fuck the warlock bubble bullshit.
Bubble and wings, Pete. You can do them both.
I remember.
Bullshit. Alright, man.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Alright, man.
You got tomorrow.
You in there, Matthew?
Talk about some more.
Alright, man. Space carpet, man. Dang. Came a little late, brother, but I'll be on tomorrow, man. I'm tired as hell, dude. I was just playing a little Tomb Raider, just messing around. What was I gonna say? I didn't even play Tekken today. I was playing Tomb Raider because I think the movie's coming out soon, so I kind of wanted to play this game that I never beat. I didn't beat. I had this game for a while. I actually got a few games in here that I've got to beat. Hey man, I hear that, brother. It happens, dude. Today was rough, dude. I had to help, since my daughter's been sick for this past week. She's been home, so I had to get her back on track when it came to like work and stuff and like homework. And she was not trying to she was not trying to do any homework, man. She was not trying to do any work of any kind, man. So it was rough. It was all day. It was like a little school I was running in here, man. I had a whole schedule ready and everything. Reading at this time, this time, and take a little break for lunch or snack, and then it was rough, dude. And she was not making it easy, cause she's those type of kids that like complain. I mean, I guess all kids are like that. But she will complain, and I'm just like, yo, man, like, come on, stop all this. But Jesus, dude, this is rough. That's rough, man. But alright, buddy. If anything, I will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by for a little time you did. And yeah, man. Have a good night, morning, or whatever. See you tomorrow.